And welcome back to the program. As I mentioned before the commercial break, we are now joined by the Fort Walton Beach Rotary, and we're going to talk about the Rotary and a pickleball tournament that they have coming up in Fort Walton Beach later on this fall. Joining us to talk about that is Matt Simpson and Tony Leonard. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming on the program today.
Thank you, Cam.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Before we start talking about the upcoming tournament, let's talk about the Rotary and what you guys do there in Fort Walton Beach. Just tell me a little bit about the Rotary and kind of some of y'all's involvement in the community.
Tony, you've been a more long-standing member than I have.
Well, Rotary is a community service organization. Rotary also is an international club, first initiated by Paul Harris in Chicago in 1903. Now clubs have spread all over the globe. There's probably tens of thousands of clubs now, and their international project has been to eradicate polio worldwide with the help of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. For every dollar that Rotary has raised and dedicated to eradication of polio, the Bill and Melinda Gates organization has provided $2 to every dollar Rotary. And to date, other than New York City finding a little bit of polio here in the last month, the only countries that were left with polio were Afghanistan and Pakistan. And difficulty there because some of the folks who were administering the polio have been in great danger entering those countries to do so. Locally, we service organizations, we fund scholarships and other 501c3 organizations that we find to be worthy and we would like to help out.
Okay. So let's talk about how y'all help out those organizations and raise money for those scholarships. Y'all have a big event coming up in November to do that.
That's right.
It's kind of a unique event for our area. I think we might have one or two others, but not many of these similar type events here along the Gulf Coast. So tell us a little bit about the tournament you guys have coming up.
Well, it's our second annual tournament, of course, last year being our first. It's unique to the area in that we don't have more tournaments because this growing population has just superseded everyone's expectations. Primarily, it kind of kicked off a lot during COVID when people wanted to get outside and didn't require a whole lot of effort other than a paddle and a net. So it's hugely popular sport. In fact, if you actually Google, just type in fastest growing sport in America, it will pop up pickleball. That's a fact. You should try to do that later, Cam. But it's we have a lot of interest in our area. The Mooney courts near Lewis Turner are heavily popular and active. The Jet courts, the Fort Walton Beach City has provided, resurfaced last year, is enormously popular during the afternoon times. And so there's a large contingent of players in our area, as well as Destin, but also just in our, statewide, Alabama with the Opelika pickleball courts. I think they have 24 courts or maybe something like that. Orange Beach pickleball, we had 5 states represented last year and over 175 players. So it was just a thought because we wanted to do something different and kind of evolve from our current fundraiser of doing a drawdown at the Fort Walton Beach Fairgrounds. And in fact, it was really Tony's idea to pursue this idea back in 2020. And so we put a lot of effort into 2021 November and was successful in all areas in our estimation. And we were running around kind of with our hair on fire before the months, just trying to figure out how to put this together. But our great friends at Performance Pickleball Emerald Coast, Sandy and Denny Honer, they were the ones who have, been a tenure of doing events in the past, and they had their own event in the spring. And so they kind of parlayed their event to help us out in November, which was very generous of them to use their talents and their resources to share our event across the airwaves. And before we knew it, we had 170 people come to the mini courts last November, and we're expecting even more this year.
So how can people sign up if they want to be a part of this year's event?
Sure. We just created a site called fwbpickleball.com. So if you're looking for that event, you can go there, or we hope that maybe people just stumble upon it and get aware about it through that. So fwbpickleball.com we have a highlight video, we have past pictures of the event, we have information on our sponsors, of course, a registration link, easy to get to there.
All right. Well, gentlemen, believe it or not, we're out of time. The segment does fly by fast, but a lot of great information that you guys shared, and I encourage everybody to go to the website to find out more and to sign up, and to definitely look into pickleball if you're not familiar with it, and see how it is growing so fast, as Matt mentioned. So, gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Cam.
Excellent. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And thank you for tuning in. Join us next month as we take another look across the Gulf Coast.